Motivate your new week. Fuel your success. SSM invites you to kickstart each weekday with our news update, Between the Lines, featuring the week's top news and analysis, and the most attention-grabbing lines, Deciphering World Event.
In a world where news flies around every minute, you need the ability to relate and connect with what matters and stay up to date. Schengen Story Media News Echoes program is Africans in Diaspora and at Home's leading English news network, one of the most trusted, respected sources for news updates on current affairs as they affect global Africa.
Hello, beautiful people, wonderful people. You are welcome to a beautiful day in the week. The week start Monday, and we're here, SSM Monday News Update Between the Lines. My name is Mark Godwin. I'm here from Milan, Italy. Far away, Lagos, Nigeria is also our man, Ogbeni Olayinka Raji. Raji, you're welcome to Between the Lines.
Thank you very much. Good evening, viewers around the world. Happy Easter Monday to us all.
That's a good one, Raji. Today happens to be that beautiful day, Easter Monday. Also, unfortunately, it has become the day we'll remember the Pope. Yes, Raji, the Pope passed away. Let's talk about the Pope. Pope Francis. The first Latin American pontiff died today, early morning, today, Monday, age 88. I think he will be the 266 Pope the world has had. And yes, the Pope passed away, Raji. Raji, what do you have from your corner? Pope Francis.
I was really impressed by how very active he was yesterday. After having been hospitalized for such a long time with pneumonia and other things, he was very, very active the whole of yesterday. It seems as if he used his last breath on that yesterday for the resurrection of the Lord Jesus Christ.
Talking of being active, Raji, that's very true. Yes, the Pope was very active. Yesterday, we saw the Pope move around. We also saw him receive special guests. But before we go into more discussion, viewers, you're tuning to this beautiful day, Easter Monday. Also, even though we are mourning the Pope, but it's also a glorious thing that he has transited to a better place. So joining us to talk about the Pope also is our George Chukwu from Toronto, Canada. Georgie.
Hey. Olayinka Raji.
I've missed you so much.
Oh my God, you don't even understand. I missed you so much too. Chai. I don't have a punching bag anymore. Hey, life is so good. Welcome back. Oh, hey, I am so happy. Yes, there. Right.
Wow, it's good to see you guys. It's good to see you guys. George,
yes, sir.
You've been away for quite some time now, and I know you could have been doing some real great things by your corner there. George, we're talking Monday. Unfortunately, it's also the day Pope Francis, the first Latin American pontiff that moved around with so much charm. He was humble. He was, mixing up with people. He shook hands with everybody. Sadly, he has died age 88. So we are all mourning him. George, how's Canada seeing that?
Well, we're seeing it like the rest of the world. Catholic Church is one of the biggest, congregations in the world, and I'm quite sure that the world is at mourning over the loss of the Pope. But I mean, one consolation we have, he is in a better place. That's number one. Number two is, at that age he tried. He has stayed there two more years. He would have been 90 years old. But when you basically finish your usefulness here on earth, it's always good, especially if you're going through some kind of sickness to peacefully pass over. He made his last appearance during Easter. He greeted people and all that kind of stuff. Now he's resting in peace in the bosom of the Lord, and we thank Almighty God for that, actually.
Oh, good one. George, also, one of the things that he did was he had that special guest from America, the vice president. Let's see this clip. Okay, actually, that one is him. Him
during the Easter Sunday movement. Yes,
he made a move like Raji earlier said. He took a trip around the streets, the Vatican Road, meeting with followers and the crowd. Yes, he also met with the vice president. We're trying to see if the clip is there. Vines had him also as a special. Vines was a special guest that morning. Early morning at the Vatican. Before we continue, let's also bring in our diva from the UK. Diva, are you there? Yana Akano. Okay, I think something went wrong there. Anyway, guys, let's talk some other things. Let's go deeper. The Pope was against a lot of world policy. Some of those things America were into. He was really angry with Russia and the war, with Ukraine. He didn't agree with Trump's idea of deporting illegal immigrants and all that, and his plans. Raji, let me start with you. Those issues were real serious issues, but nobody listened. They still went along. Russia was still blowing up Ukraine. Trump still moved all the illegal immigrants, and all those things happened. Tell us, what's your view on that?
Well, there was a time when the Pope was a law, but nowadays the Pope can only advise. Even Catholic countries will only take advice from the Pope. The Pope's power has, but still he is able to muster a lot of public opinion against policies that the church believes is not in the best interest of humanity. He was quite conservative and was quite also liberal in so many ways.
Okay, liberal in so many ways. We lost her again. Yes, liberal in so many ways, but nobody listened to him. George, we saw what he did. He went around many countries from Argentina to Philippines. He was spreading the gospel of God, of peace, love. But were there results in all of those efforts he made, George?
Yeah, the truth of the matter is that there might have been some sort of some kind of good outcome that resulted from some of the moves he's making. I know that some of them that are very controversial, some of the issues that are very controversial, he presents himself, as an elderly clergyman to advise. But like what our brother Raji was just saying, it's up to them to take his advice or not. And especially these days, the way we see governance around the world is quite different from what it used to be. When we can hear you. So anyway, he being who he was, the influence is still there, mind you. Because we saw that King Charles and his wife, the Queen, went to visit him privately, before he passed away. So he still holds that powerful influence. But the fact is that most time, diplomacy these days is quite different from what it used to be. And geopolitical outcomes are quite different from what it used to be. Okay. So everybody does his own things right now. Look at Trump and the rest of the nations. They just declared what you call a ceasefire with Ukraine and Russia, but did they obey it? No. So that's where we stand now. Want to welcome the diva Fiona.
Can you hear us? We can see you. We hear your some sound, but can you hear us?
I can't hear. Hello, everybody. I can't hear anything from the studio. Can you hear me though?
Yes, we can. Yes, we can hear you.
I tried. I don't know. So I'm gonna try again one more time, and then I'm gonna.
It's okay. Yeah, George, you just said some very strong things there. We know that the world is held on by some real strong policies. You know, most countries just stay on those issues, and no matter who says anything. But are we not undermining the power of the Pope when we do like that? I mean, this man is like a representative of, you know, God on earth. I mean, when he says some of these things, and if you look at it, those issues were really human related issues that matters. You know, they underline to those issues were love. So when somebody comes to tell us, love your neighbor, be kind to your fellow human being, why do we still knuckle up and don't listen? We don't take heed.
Yeah. Let me respond to that quickly. You know,
Okay.
I mean, one thing that we need to understand, whether we like it or not, you know, the will of God is hardly done here on earth.
That's a good
yes. God wills that nobody will perish, but we see people choosing their own way, perishing every single day. And we know some of the narratives, both in the Quran and in the Bible, what we consider to be, you know, the love walk we're supposed to walk. But the question you're going to ask yourself right now, you know, is how many of us are obeying those laws? How many of us are really walking in love, unconditional love? Not the conditional when I love you because everything is going fine by me, but when things are not going fine, I just cast you away like a piece of trash. So that's not the real love. Love, the unconditional love is what we call agape. It is hardly being done on earth because people are self-centered, selfish, and self-motivated. So that is the bottom line to it. Even especially the government, when they are drunk with power or authority, they do their own thing. To them, it's like, what you going to do? You're going to come and kill me? Or, you know, I'm protected. So that's exactly what we're seeing around the world. So even if the Pope himself understands all those things, he can only give advice. He can't force anybody to, you know, do anything because the Pope can't send anybody to hell or to heaven. You know, if they respect him and love to obey, then we have peace. But if not, you know, that's what we have right now around the world.
Raji, our man George just said something very cogent there. But now he's passed on. Everybody will be mourning, crying. Oh, Pope. Twitter is filled with all the leaders, all presidents, bringing pictures of him and them. When they were together, the handshake and everything they had. Now everybody's doing that. I mean, they flooded all the Twitter space and so many social media. Raji, even France tonight, I think by now, France is going to switch off the Eiffel Tower light, that electricity light that illuminates that landmark, Eiffel Tower. And all of this is because of what the Pope, who he is and what he stands for. Raji, are we not playing hypocrisy? Is it not hypocrisy?
There is no hypocrisy. The Pope has authority only over the Catholics. And the world is not a one of the days when the Pope's word was law throughout Christendom. Then the Reformation came, and then there are so many Christian sects, and each of them having a supreme leader to whom they pay obeisance. Pope, with his position, was very, very influential. And as you have said before, he could only advise. He could only speak as a father to billions of people in the world, that let there be peace in the world. But you should know that the world has never been a match for peace. There's always been a match against war.
Okay.
And the more you march against something, the more the more prominent that thing becomes. So that the principal word is war. And as far as you are marching against war, there will be more wars.
Okay, let's pray that Fiona's device works now. Fiona, we don't want war on your device. We want peace on your device.
Oh, dear. Me and my devices. Oh dear. Good evening, gentlemen. Good evening, viewers.
Good evening.
You're welcome. Okay, before Fiona comes in to say one or two things, let's see the Pope again. The Pope, we're talking about the Pope, Fiona. Let's see him in that trip, last moment trip in the morning, it's a Vatican. Yes.
No news.
Yes. It's shortened because we shot maybe just small clip. But what you see there is a mammoth crowd of people. When he started moving, he went into the crowd, about a large crowd of faithfuls, followers, and people there at the Vatican. Fiona, the Pope is gone. The man went through so much pain. But he had grace with him. He was humble. He was charming. He also had issues he put out that they weren't listening to. A lot of things. He talked about Russia pounding on Ukraine. He talked about America understanding that we're all human beings, foreigners alike, everybody's one. Don't deport people, don't make people feel bad. But none of those things, like we were saying earlier, was adhered to. Fiona, what will you say about the Pope?
Of course, may he rest peacefully. I think over the last few weeks, we've struggled with news regarding his health and how critical a condition he was in. And it was so nice to see him in the Pope Mobile yesterday, amongst the masses, speaking to the Catholic faithful. When a pontiff passes on, I can imagine for the people that were present there yesterday in particular, it must be quite an overwhelming sense of, it just, what life really is, you're here today, literally gone tomorrow. So, I for all the people that were present there yesterday, I know that it must be a very surreal feeling as well, to have been part of that experience, and they must feel very blessed. He was an 88-year-old man. He'd been through a lot of health challenges in recent weeks. I understand that, his passing wasn't anything to do with the pneumonia. It was, it's but as an elderly man, we're grateful for his life. And of course, any religion or order that's preaching for peace is something that I think we should all align with in one way or the other. So, I just pray that he rests peacefully, and, for everybody that's really impacted, especially people that were there yesterday, I just express my special wishes to them as well. So, yeah.
Wow, nice. So, gentlemen, the next stage we're going to go into is among the cardinals in Rome. Somebody has to step up and close the door, the space that has been open now. We were listening to, I'm close to Vatican. Nigeria, the Nigerian diplomatic mission has a consulate general in the Vatican. So I called him and I was saying, "What's next?" He said, "Yes, deliberation has begun. There is a 9-man panel that are being looked into. So any moment from now, a new pope might emerge. But we don't have Nigeria doesn't have any contestant in that. Yes, we have a Congolese, and a Guinean cardinal. So no Nigerian.
I think there's a Ghanaian. I think there's a Cardinal Toxin from Ghana.
No. The information we have is just two black people. two black cardinals from Guinea. Robert. I'm trying to bring the pictures in. From Guinea is one cardinal, Robert Sarah, and from Congo is Fridolin Ambango. Fridolin Ambango and Robert Sarah are the two black cardinals that are being looked into. So anyway, it's on. The race for the next pope is on, and we'll put our ears to see how that goes. So thank you, gentlemen. Yes. As we move forward, let's talk about something also similar to what is happening at the Vatican now, and that is Nigeria doesn't have its president seated in this country. He's working on proxy, and what we had this evening is that proxy arrangement, George, is costing Nigeria so much. George, I want you to help us. They say Tinubu being in France, running presidency from France, is by taking taxpayers' money is going boom, 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 boom like that. George, what's this?
Well, what can we say? It happened with Buhari. He spent hundreds of days, in Britain, and then we have this president also. And one of the funniest part of this whole entire saga is number one, we don't know why he's there. Everybody's speculating, and he's not telling us. No, we saw last week or 2 weeks ago when President Trump went and all his medical record was made public. Everybody knew his blood pressure, his cholesterol level, everything was made public. But in our own situation, we don't know nothing happening. When Buhari was in Britain, and that's why some people started speculating that he's dead and started pontificating over the nose and the mouth and called him Jibri, but he's still alive today. But it's all because of the secrecy behind the people that we elected with taxpayers' money to govern our affairs. They hide all these things from us. We don't know, and that's the kind of executive presidential privileges that are only exist in Africa, but not in any other democratic world. So we need to really, if we want to be democracy, we need to really, up our game so that we can look like others and succeed like them, rather than all these little secrecies. But I am praying, if it's that he is not well, I pray that God will heal him and grant him the strength to come back and continue governing our nation, because, Mr. President, we need you. Please come back as soon as possible.
Thank you, George. Raji, what I have for you is quite different. Now, because there's a vacuum in leadership, everybody's saying their thing, everybody's doing different things. There's a retired defense minister, former defense minister, Danjuma, Theophilus Danjuma. I know him. He now said, listen, Nigerians should begin to self-defend themselves, self-defense. He's relating it to the Benue situation where the death toll has increased. He said this is like a civil war. So now it's time for Nigerians to take their own arms and defend themselves. Raji, this is because nobody's.
Dogma said that a long time ago. I think he's just repeating it now. Okay. I don't understand. You see, I don't think we Nigerians actually look at things very deeply. We will notice, if we will have noticed that during Buhari's time, almost everybody else in the country was disarmed. Anybody who had arms was asked to go and submit those arms at the nearest police station. The only people who are armed in the country at the moment are those Fulani herdsmen and all those bandits. So now they can enter into any country, any space, take over that space, and resettle themselves. Some people are saying that it is because of the mineral resources of the place they are going to, but thousands of acres have been of land has been displaced, farmlands, homelands ancestral homes have been displaced, and these people have taken over these areas, and they are resident in these areas, and they have renamed those areas, and the original people have been sent into IDP camps. I don't think that at this time there should be any IDP camps in this country. All the people who are in IDP camps should be taken back to their original homelands. If their original homelands have been taken over by aliens or by any group of people, those people should be taken back to wherever they came from. But it seems to me there's a government, the government, or there are forces behind the government that are in charge of all these demographics, all these displacements. It is something that is entrenched. In the case of the Uromi case, when the people decided to defend themselves, within 1 hour, the governor of Edo State was preparing himself to go to Kano to plead with the governor of Kano. When some herdsmen when some cows were killed in Benue, the governor of Benue set up a body to investigate the killing of those cows. Meanwhile, more than 100 people have been killed over the last 2 weeks, and there have not been any government body who have said that.
Inquiry, yeah.
Yes. Well, okay. We have set up an inquiry.
Fiona, before we go on the break, yes, Raji, thank you very much. Fiona, these two issues connect somehow. The president being in France, nobody's addressing security issues. Now they are saying, Nigerians, you're on your own. El man to his own. Or go get your guns and defend yourself. Fiona, what will you say of this?
I think, sometimes our narrative is exhausting because the truth about it is that when you're in a situation where your leadership, and I'm not just talking about President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, I'm talking about leadership in general, when there's no accountability when the leaderships don't have to be accountable to anybody, these are the sort of things that happen. There's no accountability in anything that goes on. Nobody really has to answer to anybody. Nobody's really ever held to account for anything. So I don't understand how we can have public servants and they're not accountable to anybody. They're just a law unto themselves. They do whatever they want to do. They take off, they come back, they raise inquiries, they knock down houses, they don't. All this is just the status quo in Nigeria. There's no accountability. Until we can have accountability for things, different things will continue happening and nobody will ever be brought to book for anything. That's it.
Sorry, Mark, please, may I put in a word? I was going to answer to George's constant statement that taxpayers' money. In a country, if we are talking about, and he mentioned nation, we are talking about the country Nigeria. In a country which has refused to become a nation, there's nothing like taxpayers' money, because if you look at it, how many people pay tax? Until payment of tax becomes as enforceable as it is in the US, for instance, then the person who pays tax will now have the audacity to challenge those who are misusing his tax. As it is now, we have a federation that is even cannot be understood by anybody who has any inkling of what a federation is supposed to be. We have a central coffer from which the state government go every month to take money. As far as the state people are concerned, as far as the people of the state are concerned, it is not even their state money. It is government money, federal government money. So they don't feel any attachment to that money, and they are not even too bothered how the money is spent.
Thank you very much.
Can I say something? Can I respond to that quickly? Because this is very, very important. This is an issue that has bugged the nation for so long. Whether it is taxpayers' money or the natural resources that are given the money is coming from, it belongs to the whole nation. It belongs to the whole nation. God did not put oil in River State or put it in Bayelsa or any other place, and the nation is together, for a section of people. It is for the whole entire nation. If you go to places like, United Arab Republic and all that kind of stuff, some of them don't even pay taxes. They don't know what taxes are because the government, because of how small the population is, the government usually takes care of them because of the natural resources that are there. Hold tight. But what I'm saying is, for us to be talking about because we are not paying taxes, now these people are not responsible or accountable to us, is the worst sin that you can ever narrate on a public forum. Because whether it comes from agricultural import and export, or it comes from a natural resources or minerals, it belongs to the whole entire nation. And that's something that we need to come to the knowledge of and hold tight. You might not have a nation. Stop. Let me finish, please. Let me finish. The point I'm making is this. It is that mentality that is actually fueling the people to say them and us, not us as one. That mentality must stop. Nigerians must be accountable. No, hold tight. When I finish, you can talk, Olayin Karaji. Please. You see, because that's exactly the same problem that we have had in the past, whereby they're looking at it, after all, it's all your money, all you all your wells and all those type of things. No, every resource, both the ones that they are not giving to the nation that are in the north and the Californium and other mineral resources, gold and everything that is found in the northern part of Nigeria belongs to the entire nation. It cannot be segregated, the way they want it. Until we get a government that have balls to deal with these issues, we will remain the way we have been.
Okay. Thank you very much, gentlemen. Somebody wrote on the WhatsApp chat. He says, firstly, Mr. Raji, you have a wrong conception of the word tax. He said, I agree with George, and these are issues that should be said even when we have our meeting. Okay. So somebody just wrote that on WhatsApp. Let's go.
What kind of government, what kind of structure do we have in Nigeria? Do you have a federalist or a unitary government?
No, but already understand what George is saying. It's not that all that.
He has to understand what I am saying. We have a nationality question. We don't have a nation. We have a country, a mere geographic expression.
Let's come back.
Whatever is okay. Until we come back.
In a world where news flies around every minute, you need the ability to relate and connect with what matters and stay up to date. Schengen Story Media News Echoes program is Africans in Diaspora and at Home's leading English news network, one of the most trusted, respected sources for news updates on current affairs as they affect global Africa.
Here are 3 things that I absolutely loved about Nigeria. Number 1, I fit in. I fit in. Melanin, caramel, chocolate, mocha, whatever you may call it, I fit in, baby. I felt at home. I didn't feel out of place. I didn't feel like anybody was staring at me. Nobody was looking at me strange when I walked around in the stores. I mean, everybody was minding their own business. Number 2, the people. I mean, Nigerians are a vibe. The diverse culture, the different tribes, the different religions, the people are a vibe, okay? Whatever it is that you're looking for, they got it in Nigeria, okay? And they see you. They notice you. There's a sense of community. People care. Yes. And of course, you might be woken up at 2 a.m. because there's church going on the loudspeaker, but hey, nothing wrong with a little godliness, okay? Relax. Number 3, I love that Nigerians are resilient. They are resilient. Very ambitious and resilient people. They don't depend on the government for anything. They will figure out how they can take care of themselves. They see their systems. They know it's messed up. And guess what? They still thrive and they still figure out a way to make it work. So shout out to all my Nigerians. You are nothing but queens and kings in my eyes. If you're an LDR couple and you're not yet following us, what are you waiting for? Make sure you engage from the bottom up and we'll do the same. I'll see you in the next video.
Thinking white guys who join.
Yes, viewers, you're welcome back to Between the Lines. Between the Lines, 21st April, Easter Monday. Sadly, the day the Pope Francis passed away too. Gentlemen, listen, let's go on. Let's move on, Raji. Fiona, it's good to have you there. George, it's good to have you there. River State isn't settling yet. It's still.
Massive Mark, is it possible to touch on this situation that is happening in the Middle Belt? Because this is really, I know Raji kind of covered it, extensively. But the point is this, why is it that such atrocities will be happening in an area, and the government is unable to do anything about it?
Now listen,
we saw what happened.
Yes, listen to this.
We saw what just happened in River State, and they're sending troops, military men there.
Yes,
but over here, okay.
Thank you. Enough is enough. We are here. Enough is enough. Thank you. They're playing politics with people like there's almost into this with that armor, with that ammunition. We have to cop this very particular area within a tinkle of a second. I know what kind of us can do. Good or fine. I know what kind of us can do. Good to go. How many parties are inside this bush? Good to go. Playing politics. They are playing politics with people. Big men are eating money at the pub there. Saying that we should not even do that. We should not go after them. That is for me. Okay. This is the full information for you people. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Yes. Yes. I will appreciate you. Yes. Big time.
Okay,
Thank
George. This is confirming because I was coming there, but
okay. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. Okay.
We're hearing these are servicemen at the front line, soldiers, mobile men, everything. But we have more of such clips where they are saying there's a deliberate intent plan to keep them off from fighting these unknown gunmen.
It's not today.
So yes, yes. So let's hear Fiona. Fiona, we've talked about this several times. Is it you believe there's a deliberate intention to keep killing these people and put security men from not doing the job of getting there?
I think in every situation where there's no clear defined course of action, where there's no clear, these sort of things will happen. So it appears like there's something more to the story than meets the eye. Because it doesn't make sense that it would send a whole lot of people there. It doesn't make any sense. But it all boils down to the fact that nobody is ever held accountable. Now we've got I think he's a police officer. We've got him shouting from the rooftops about what has happened. He said, "Oh, we don't have ammunition. We don't have this. We've been put here, etc., etc." And that's where the conversation will end. Nothing will happen. Nothing will happen because there's no accountability. We saw something.
So George, do you agree with Theophilus, former defense minister, that we
you see, if you refuse to protect me, which is my constitutional right, what Theophilus Danjuma is saying, which was part of the former defense minister, is saying is it is about time for the people to come together and begin to strategize to protect themselves and protect their lands. We have seen it with the military in Nigeria. We have seen it with the police force in Nigeria. Most of the people right now, the states are organizing and putting together their own security forces that they pay. And we see that. Why? Because nature abhors vacuum. And that's when the government is failing. People ought to come together. I can guarantee you, we have so many intelligent Nigerians. If they are barring you from using, buttery weapons or sophisticated weapons, come together, find out people among your own people that can put together, get a gun, break it down, and see how you can locally manufacture your own to protect your land. This is absolutely unfair. It's something we know, and everybody is looking at it, and we are just, every day we cry, oh my God, 56 are dead, 100 are dead, and all this, and nobody's saying anything, and the government is not doing anything. No. We know what is going on, and therefore we need to allow these people to come together by themselves, find a way to protect themselves, and then let the chip fall where it may.
Okay. Yes, Raji.
Sorry. All those state security bodies are not armed. It is only the Fulani herdsmen who are armed now, officially by government order, as we speak today. Amotekun has no arms. They can't go about with guns and wood. Let that be known. And even those vigilantes who come together, those who happened in Uromi, they were all arrested and disarmed. Let that get to you. There's a huge arrangement. Just last week, what did the Sultan of Sokoto say about media, about social media? That the social media is now the terrorists. Boko Haram and all the bandits are not terrorists. No, what are we saying? What happened to the IPOB? IPOB was declared a terrorist organization without even firing a single shot. Meanwhile, Boko Haram, that has been recognized by the United Nations as the fourth most terrible terrorist organization, has now been declared a terrorist organization. So let that sink in.
Let that sink in. Viewers, yes. You are tuned to our Monday 21st edition of Between the Lines. Between the Lines, guys. Okay. So, yes. Let's come to George. We're all in the same page now. Let's come to a story that we need to look into. Somebody is really becoming a lord, an emperor. In fact, I don't know how to say. River State's situation doesn't look like it's coming down. During the weekend, Wike came out to say, I didn't say they should outrightly put Fubara in suspension. I want him out. This was what somebody was saying to a democratic elected officer. And now that makes him like an emperor, really. George, Wike is still blowing hot. And so now we know, when that whole thing happened, the administrator taking over and the curfew and everything. Some people said, that's how it is. But we know that Wike was behind all of this. George, what would you have?
Well, you know what? It's almost like we have been subjected to the point where we are hopeless, despondent. Nobody is saying anything anymore simply because of the kind of governance we have in Nigeria. It is so sad that we are still claiming, and I can guarantee you today, let me tell you something, that if it happens in Nigeria today, if the military will rise up today and take over the government, you see 85% of the nation rise up in praising them. Okay. You see, what happens to some of these nations is when people are crying out and you're not paying attention, when people are just suffering and you're not paying attention, one day, and that is one thing that the government, these people that are governing us are living in bubbles. They refuse to hear the cry of the people. They refuse to hear the death that is taking place, all over the whole entire nation because of hunger or whatever, because of the decisions that they are making that is negatively affecting the people. We need to come to that point where we will get a government that can be responsible, so that at least if they make a decision that is not favoring the people, they can reconsider the decision and try to input or put something else that will favor the people favorably. What we are seeing today in Nigeria, look at Wike. Can you just imagine? He is one man just threatening the whole entire nation, and the president is sitting there and watching him, because he's evidently is either by active or silent agreement with everything that Wike is doing. And he's saying, until Fubara comes to bow down to me and kiss my ring, I will not forgive. That I wanted him out. Are you wanting him out simply because he did something wrong? What was it that he did in the government? Simply because he wants to be an independent governor to, govern the people that he was elected to govern. But that's exactly the kind of politics we are playing in Nigeria. But I can tell you one thing though, enough will be enough soon if they are not careful. Because they can continue like this, but it can only last for so long.
Fiona doesn't really agree that much with your view. I know. Fiona.
Oh, that's good.
Yes. Fiona, tell us. What's that your view? I know.
Do I not agree with what George said? I don't know whether I said that.
No. I mean, in terms of
yeah, I think that the way I look at things, Nigerian politics is a very interesting it's an interesting game. It's not, it's not everything that looks like what it is. I'm not saying that I'm in agreement with having godfathers, etc., etc. But if you start off a negotiation dining with the devil, then what will happen at the end of the day, if you don't do his bidding, is that you're going to end up in all kinds of bother. So that's the way I have viewed that situation, that you have made some sort of tacit agreement with somebody or group of people, and then you have gotten to the apex of what you wanted, and then somehow there has been a disagreement. So these are things that will happen once you dine with the devil. Once you make agreements with certain kind of people, they're going to have expectations of you, and there will be some times that you will not be able to meet the
These are not personal domains, so these are state, so not personal domain, not the personal domain of Wike.
But sorry to
not the private domain of Wike.
Sorry. Let me just cook for a minute. Sorry. But and it goes back to everything I've said since I started talking. There's no accountability. That's the way we've been running the game. That's how the game has been run. I don't dispute what you're saying. What you're saying is true. But who is holding anybody accountable for all this? Nobody holds anybody accountable.
So there's no rule of law. There's no law. Nothing. Anybody can do anything like.
Well, that's it. So there's no cat. So the mice can just do whatever they want. So that's it.
Yeah, we have a gangster. We have a gangster as a president, so he can go on as a gangster.
So all right, gentlemen. That's it. Let's do a little of some past news.
Can I respond? Can I respond, please? Olayin Karachi, don't call my president gangster, please. He's my president too.
Okay, please.
He's my president too.
Give me a better word that describes the situation. That
we have a very strong-minded president. A strong-minded president too.
The guy is on a working leave in France. He's not responsible. In fact, you can shout until tomorrow. He's not going to answer you. He just look at you.
And piling up huge bills for us,
I don't know about the bills, but I'm almost sure that there'll be.
How can you say you don't know about the bills? If the president is on any trip, don't you know about the bill, extra codes and all that?
I don't know.
Is he spending his money in France? Okay, all right. Let's keep it at that. Gentlemen, there are some also small issues going around. Last week we didn't talk about this, but it was a major thing that was happening. The Supreme Court there in UK, Fiona, I know you followed that, has now stamped its feet and said the identification for any human being is biological identification. So a woman is a woman, a man is a man by birth, by their biological identification.
The unanimous decision of this court is that the terms woman and sex in the Equality Act 2010 refer to a biological woman and biological sex.
That happened last week. We didn't talk about it because I was all alone here. It happened on Friday, and it's a big thing because once the UK starts up this kind of decision, we're sure it will begin to spread because really there's confusion in the world now. I mean, this binary, some people are X, some people yes. So, well, Fiona, what will you say about this? Yes, what will you say about this Supreme Court decision?
The Supreme Court decision is a very welcome outcome. That's what I have to say about that.
Yes.
Yeah, Raji, what will you say about that?
You know, just 2-3 days ago, a pastor who got married found out that when he wanted to consummate the marriage, the person he married was a transgender he/she. It ended up with him stabbing his newly wedded husband or
spouse.
Well, spouse covers all the sexes. Ended up stabbing his spouse to death.
It's true. It's a very difficult topic because really there was really no reason for us to go down into this rabbit hole of what is innocent. I think that so for me, I think the Supreme Court ruling is really that's really the final bust up on the whole thing.
Okay.
It's time for us to really get back to
again another issue. George, I think that's okay. We could talk more on that.
Yeah, I can talk about that. You know, it's okay. I mean, the point is this. You know, when it comes to the decision they made, we're going back to the natural things that the way it's supposed to be. Okay, now there are some fossils that were discovered, human fossils that were discovered, human bones that were discovered. You know, through carbon dating was like, you know, thousands. I mean, almost you know, the pre-Adamic era. And through genetic examination, they discovered that it was a male or female. So even all this nonsense, you know, humans, we have come to the point where we become so depraved that ordinary animals are acting even wiser than us. And yet we proclaim ourselves to be wise and become fools. You know, so that's exactly the point. So when you think about it, when somebody dies, whoever they are, they can go and change their physical appearance, change whatever. But if their bones are exhumed, you know, 1,000 years from now, it will still show their real gender. So I'm in agreement with the UK decision.
Thank you. Gentlemen, before we go, let's look into something that affects our country, Nigeria, and is becoming a real virus spreading very fast. And that's something they call Yahoo scam. Before we go further, let's see this clip.
Hello, can you hear me?
What is the purpose of the call? Yeah, what is the purpose of the call?
Okay, so Elon told me to text you so I can tell you what you win in the Tesla company.
Buddy, listen to me. Alien is in United States. You are in
Nigeria.
Nigeria.
No, I was in Texas right now.
Oh, yeah.
Wait.
Okay. It might look funny, like a skit, but it's not. This is a very serious issue. And let me say this to our viewers. Most network inside Nigeria don't talk about this. I don't know why. So I want us to begin to look into this very, very, very serious issue that is eating up our youth, eating up our society, eating up our people, and putting us in a very bad light outside. This is the thing that robs us bad outside. We all know, for those of us out here, we know what's called catfishing. When somebody pretends to be somebody and you're not, and they use that to manipulate. But in this case, the Nigerian people come with this Yahoo scam. They impersonate people too. And a lot of time they get away with it. They also launder money, they take people's money, they enter people's accounts. It's all crazy thing. George, you and I and Fiona were out here. We know how such things damage our
image.
Yes. So I want us to really begin to talk about this. It's something that should be addressed. Parents, some homes, George, some homes, some people see it as normal. Our son is doing this. Our daughter is doing, they think this is a way of life. And the government even somehow play along with it. Yes. Go ahead.
George.
Yes, okay. Well, anyway, I don't think that the government is playing along with it. The government every now and again will make scapegoats out of some of them that are doing it. We saw the likes of Hush Puppy and all the rest of them, when he was arrested and all those type of things. Now, you see, the point that we are, action brings reaction most of the time. But the suffering of Nigerians is not helping the matter at all. If students are able to stay in school and their parents are making enough money to take care of them and do things like this, why would you get a young child? This is child abuse, for goodness sake. It is really incredible that we will see a child at this age begin to be tamed and nurtured and structured to become a criminal. So when you tell them about going to school, they will look at you and laugh. I make more money, than you, that is actually a House of Representative or whoever that you are. So they wouldn't even, there's no motivation to do right. So what we are saying is, we got to go to the foundation of where we have missed it. It was through IBB that criminalized everything and made it as if it was acceptable. All the bad things were called good and all the good things were called bad under his leadership. And since then up until today, we have not been able to come out of that mentality and mindset. So it is so sad, and it messes up our image. And these are only a handful of people, but these small bad apples have colored the image of the whole entire Nigeria. Out of our country are coming the best surgeons, the best engineers, the best scientists, the best doctors, and yet this little group of people that are doing this are just taking over the image and just messed up the whole entire nation. So it will come a time when we are going to say enough is enough. But we got to go back to the foundation of making sure that there are 3 square meals on everyone's table in Nigeria. Because this is part of the reason why they excuse themselves and then go into survival mode.
But there's no excuse for doing wrong. Fiona, this is it. You see your fellow Nigerian youth.
It's unfortunate. First of all, I think I'll start by saying that at SSM we condemn any sort of activity like that. So I just have to start by saying that. I think what Sir George said is really key. We have a really young population, and it's very difficult when you have a lot of young people who are actually very intelligent. They're not unintelligent people. They're actually very bright, extremely intelligent people. A lot of young people who are unemployed, who can't afford this, that, and also they have the get rich quick mentality. They see people with a lot of money and they want to be them. And because in Nigeria, nothing really follows process, they aspire to have this money. They don't really know about all this. Oh, let me achieve this, and then next step. They're not into that. They just want to do it quickly. So with all those factors and the fact that nobody is responsible or accountable for any kind of social system, it makes the idea of creating this kind of silos, it makes it attractive. It makes it attractive. I can't get a job. I can't eat. So, and somebody said, oh, if you come and do this and everything, we should be able to get $200, $1,000, $10,000. It's unfortunate because it creates a really bad uptake. It doesn't really look good for us as Nigerians in the diaspora. But I think what Sir George says is, on the flip side of that, go into any institution, any organization, top end, and you will find Nigerians doing exceptionally well in there. And we have to be heartened by the fact that actually, if we only have a structure that is fit for purpose, we will be able to get all these people that are involving themselves in these things into things that can become productive for everybody. So that's the hope. When will we see that in Nigeria? I don't know. I really don't know. I don't know. But it starts really, really, really at the core of things. So, yeah.
Thank you very much, Fiona. Fiona, you put this so well. I think this should go viral. Your part of this take should go far. Raji, is there you want to add? Yeah.
Just a short, Kenny. See, with a population of 200 million, even if 0.1% are involved in all these things, it's a huge number. So it is understandable that the vast majority of Nigerians are hardworking, decent people who want to earn a living by the toils of their hands. And most of us are trained to work for what we earn. So it's just unfortunate. Also, it's a two-way thing. If anybody should come to me with a scheme that is likely to give me money that I didn't work for, it will be difficult for me to fall for that scheme. So those who fall for the schemes, look, I listened to the young boy. He said that Elon Musk has asked him to call a certain number. Even his diction, even his it shows clearly that he doesn't even know what he's saying. But if that kind of person could appeal to somebody and get money from that person, then that person who was duped probably deserves to be duped.
Well, I don't. Yeah, I hear you. I hear what you're saying, but when you have a person taking over your phone and purporting to be you and extracting money from somebody else, it's a bit different. So yes, I hear what you're saying, that of course not, if it's too good to be true, it is, yes, but we have these sort of scams going on people's phones. I had a friend, he lost 500,000 naira the other day because as far as he was concerned, it was his auntie asking for money. Send the money.
Yes.
And then the next morning he got a text message to say, please, I haven't asked for any money, I've lost my phone. Or somebody has found my phone. So I think there's also that, it's not just asking for, like.
I understand that. I understand that. Yes.
All right, but in conclusion to this, we all know the viral story that is going on with Cybex. Recently, Cybex, which is also a criminal organization who came because of a Ponzi scheme and took almost trillions of naira away and escaped. Trillions.
How they were able to operate? How they were able to operate in the Nigerian system? It still even baffles me, because it means then that anybody can come and start a scheme, and a lot of people, and there's no control. A lot of people just fall for that scheme.
Okay, guys, hold on to the Cybex. Wednesday, let's be here. Cybex issues serious. Some people are dying. Some people are dead now as a result of Cybex situation. So it's a serious thing we'll address on Wednesday. I want to thank you guys for coming. Fiona, thank you for adding so much wonderful insight and word into what we've come to do. George, good to see you.
Bringing beauty to us.
Yeah, George, you have to bring to us also what you've gone to do in France. I know you were in France with some heavy delegates. Let's have that report, George. And Raji,
okay, we'll do that.
is bringing his wonderful take. So, guys, until we come again on Wednesday, thank you, viewers. This is it. Between the Lines, 21st of April. Beautiful way to end the Easter Monday holiday, and also a beautiful way to say bye-bye to our Pope Francis. So until we come again next on Wednesday, bye, guys.
All right.
Thank you.
Have a good evening.
Have
a good evening.